Scene 1, time 1965. Place, capital city, located in a state in the southern United States. The setting, office of the governor. Sitting behind the desk is the governor, Azariah Walton III. Seated opposite him are his two advisors, R. Fennington Riff Green and Delbert T. Mack McVeigh.
The niggers are acting up again, Governor. They're threatening to march on the Capitol and demand the right to vote.
They already have the right to vote. What more do they want? Is it our fault that they can't pay the poll tax?
No, it isn't. But this is becoming serious. All kinds of agitators are pouring into the state, stirring up all kinds of trouble. It ain't right.
No, it isn't. We don't need any outsiders telling us how to deal with our Negroes. Where do they get off trying to do that? Who the hell are they?
They're just a bunch of pompous hypocrites, that's all, using the niggers to attack us.
I think it's about time that we took action to stop all this agitating now, before it gets out of hand.
It could escalate into something much bigger and much more dangerous.
What do you mean out of control? Stop pussyfooting with words and speak plainly. What exactly are you trying to say?
What I'm saying is this. The niggers want to take over. That's what I'm saying. Period. I can't be any more explicit.
Well, that ain't never gonna happen, ever. They take over and all hell will break loose. No white person would be safe. It'd be a catastrophe. It would be the end of civilization, at least as we know it.
Sure would, Governor, and you know it. White people have kept control in this state ever since the end of the Civil War. Today the niggers say they want the vote. Tomorrow they be screaming that they want everything. It ain't natural and it ain't right.
Can you imagine the niggers trying to run the government? When I was in the service, they couldn't even do KP duty without screwing it
The
up.
worst thing Harry Truman ever did was to integrate the armed forces. That and the Emancipation Proclamation. That's what made the niggers become so uppity.
Huh, you think so? So I thought it was when the Supreme Court ruled that school segregation was unconstitutional. After that ruling, the niggers went crazy. Now they want to send their kids to the same schools as our kids. If we allow that, then we can kiss the schools goodbye. What white teacher's going to want to be stuck in a classroom with a bunch of acting out niggers? I wouldn't.
You're not a school teacher, so you don't have to worry about that.
But I have 3 kids in school, and so I do have to worry. Where could I send my kids if the niggers are allowed to come in? I'd probably have to move. But to where?
Wherever there are no niggers.
But they're all over the place. You can't avoid them.
Maybe now you can, but there's a way to solve the problem.
How?
Get rid of them.
What are you talking about?
I mean just that. Drive them out of the state.
How would you pull that off? 1/3 of the state is black.
So what? It could work.
No, Mac. Sometimes I think you have cotton in your head.
Hear me out. We could offer a cash award to any nigger who decides to leave the state. Could be worth the money.
I appreciate the sentiment behind the proposal, but the plan lacks practicality. Trying to get 1/3 of the population to leave would just create more problems.
And we're back to square one, Governor, and I don't like it.
And I don't like it either.
Me neither.
You know, I remember when I was a little boy growing up in Caseyville. Most of my pals were niggers. I really enjoyed playing with them. We had a lot of fun. We used to play ball, swim in the lake, do all kind of stuff. And then we started school, and they went to their school and I went to mine, just like it was meant to be. Everyone got along fine. Everyone knew their place. And that damn reporter showed up in town and started spreading those filthy lies about my father and grandfather, which got the niggers all riled up and open to being manipulated and all kinds of outside agitators, both black and white.
I hear you loud and clear, Governor. It's the fault of the commies, I tell you. McCarthy was right. He was just fingering the wrong people. If he were alive today, he'd know what to do.
What are you implying? That I can't handle the situation?
Oh, no, of course not, Governor. I was just saying.
What?
Don't worry, Governor. Griff didn't mean nothing. You're more than man enough for the job. We both know it. You're a chip off the old block, as the saying goes. You weren't elected governor for nothing.
That's right, Governor.
That's right, boys. I wasn't elected governor for nothing. We got work to do.
End of scene 1. Scene 2, time, same as scene 1. Place, public park located somewhere in Capital City. In the park is assembled a large crowd of people, mostly black. On a temporary wooden rostrum are standing 3 people. The Reverend Marvin Lewis Kane, the Reverend Rolf Dennis Abercrombie, and a woman, Denisha Trescott. They are black. They are engaged in a lively discussion.
I just can't take it anymore. The governor's obscenity is just too much to bear.
Just try to keep your cool. Our time will come.
I'm trying, Brother Marvin. A whole lot. But the indignities just keep piling up.
Well, you gotta try harder because that's what the system wants. For you to act out. Don't you understand that?
Brother Rolf is right. We can't wait much longer, otherwise we'll lose the crowd, and then where will that leave us?
The sister knows what she's saying, Marvin.
You must think before you act. And I'm telling you, the time has not yet come for us to mobilize for action.
We have been enduring inequities for centuries. Black women have suffered especially hard. We must have justice.
Justice is like a butterfly, beautiful to behold, but hard to catch.
No, I say, justice is much more than something that flutters around waiting to be caught. It is a universal concept and something that's all around us.
That's all talk. What we need now is action.
You do realize, of course, that the court has issued an injunction prohibiting us from marching.
I know that, Brother Marvin, but sometimes the time comes when we must obey a higher law.
That's right, a higher law.
I wholeheartedly agree, but here on earth, an injunction is still an injunction, totally enforceable. And if we defy the court over our entire movement, could be discredited and damaged, even beyond repair, and get a lot of people hurt too.
Including you.
This wouldn't be the first time I experienced a painful sting of violence. But this has nothing to do with me, personally. This has to do with the movement.
But the people are here now. They want action
Now.
now. They want leadership now.
Now.
What good is whipping up the people just to send them home empty-handed?
I'd rather that they go home empty-handed than bloodied and bleeding, because the police are posted just across the way and they are waiting for an excuse to act.
So, let them act. We will fight.
But that would be foolish, my brother. There's enough illegality in the world. Why add to it? We would be branded as hoodlums, mere opportunists, looking to use our grievances as a pretext to act out.
Brother Marvin, we have dilly-dallied enough. We can't worry about what others may think. We have to act. The black women of this country demand action. We will no longer accept being treated like second-class citizens. We want our black men to act like men and stop being afraid.
Those are brave words, but we are not rebel rousers. We are here to do serious work. Already we are being accused of acting as front for radical groups who want to exploit our grievances for their own political purposes. In fact, I have seen them in our ranks distributing all kinds of inflammatory material of the kind that, frankly, turns my stomach.
We have nothing to fear from them. They're just white boys making some noise.
What they're doing is more than just noise making. They are trying to take over.
Let them try. We have our agenda, they have theirs. By acting now, we will steal their thunder.
The sister is right.
I cannot agree. To act now will play right into these agitators' hands and will provoke a police response that will lend credibility to their brutal tactics.
We want justice. We want justice when we want it now.
Do you hear them?
I hear them loudly and clearly.
Do you heed their words?
I heed their words.
So speak to them. Tell them what they've come from all over the country to hear. Tell them the truth. Tell them it's time to march.
End of scene 2. Scene 3, time 1857. Place, a yard in front of a shack located in an immense field a few miles outside of Capital City. A young man is digging a hole with a shovel. His name is Ezariah Walton. He's a sharecropper. Standing at the entrance to the shack is his wife, Eunice.
Well, I'm almost done.
Good.
It's a sad time. It's a sad time.
Yes.
But it's God's will.
Whatever.
We did all we could.
Yes, we did.
Doc Jones did all he could.
Yes, all that he could.
Now he's gone.
Yes, he's gone.
But he won't be forgotten.
It's too bad we couldn't bury him proper in a cemetery.
You know, we couldn't afford that. It's the best we can do.
Yes, the best we could do.
We're just a dirt farmer.
And I'm your wife.
We are poor.
Yes, we are poor.
But we are not dirt.
A black man enters. His name is Rufus. He's out of breath and terrified.
Sir, help me, they're after me.
Who's after you, boy?
My master.
You running
I
away?
have to, he's out to kill me.
Who's your master?
Mr. Lemuel Scott of Scott's Plantation.
What, is that the same Lemuel Scott who lives in Coates County?
Yes, sir.
I heard of him. He has a reputation for nastiness towards his servants. Beats up on them at the slightest provocation.
And so he does.
That ain't my concern, boy. You just turn around, right around, and go back.
I told you, he wants to kill me.
Well, what'd you do?
Nothing, really. I'm telling you, you gotta believe me.
Well, you must have done something.
It's like this. He caught me reading a newspaper.
Well, since when can niggers read?
I taught myself. I listened to my master's kids getting instruction. I picked it up. I couldn't help it.
Niggers who can read? What is this world coming to?
That boy's gonna get us into trouble.
She's right. You better skedaddle, or otherwise you'll get us all into a heap of trouble.
I wouldn't want that to happen, sir.
What's with you niggers anyway? You got it good. You just don't know it. You have no worries, no cares. You got your master taking care of you. That is, as long as you don't get uppity, stay respectful and do what you're told. Trouble is, you're all spoiled.
But, sir, I want my freedom.
Freedom? Why? Well, look at me and my wife. We're free. We work this land, work harder than any slave. And what do we have to show for it? Nothing. Right now, you caught us at a bad time. We just lost our baby.
I'm sorry to hear that, sir. I really am. Is there anything I can do to help?
It's right good of you to ask. Shows that you're kindly. Being that you're a learned nigger, maybe you could say a few words over the grave. I'm kind of rusty on my Bible learning.
It's at the grave.
It's gotta be.
I'll be right honored to say a few words.
That's good of you. I'll go inside and fetch the coffin.
Eunice and Walton exit. Moments later, both return. Walton is carrying a small, plain wooden coffin. Inside the coffin is the corpse of the dead child. Azariah places the coffin into the hole and then covers it with dirt. Eunice is weeping.
My baby, my poor little baby. He never had a chance to live.
Go ahead, say some words.
Lord, please receive this baby into your arms and let this baby enjoy the fruits of eternal life. For yours is the kingdom, the power and the glory, for now and forever. Praise be the Lord and amen.
Amen. Those were right fitting words. Give the man some food. It's the least we can do to show our thanks.
Eunice exits and soon returns with a bundle of potatoes. She hands them to Rufus.
And this is all we have.
I can't leave you with nothing.
Don't worry about us. We'll manage. It's time for you to get moving. Maybe we'll meet again.
Yeah, maybe.
Rufus exits. Azariah picks up the shovel and starts filling in the hole. End of scene 3. Scene 4. Time 1864. Place, the interior of a cabin located inside a prisoner of war camp housing captured black Union soldiers. Present are 2 Confederate soldiers, Azariah, who is a sergeant, and a teenager, Ollie Fisher, a private.
What are we gonna do with all these niggers?
Guard him.
Sarge, I don't want to be guarding a bunch of niggers. I want to be out there fighting Yanks.
Stop your griping. You don't know when you got it good.
But Sarge, the niggers ain't even soldiers. Boy, that damn Lincoln created a big mess, he sure did. With that emancipation, made the niggers think they're our equals.
Well, what'd you expect from Lincoln? Keep them slaves?
Can't afford to have uppity niggers. All they know is being slaves. They can't handle being free. They need us white folks to make sure they don't get into trouble.
Yeah, I know that, but things are a-changing.
They sure look strange wearing uniforms.
How so?
They ain't real soldiers.
Well, they were real enough to give us a good fight.
No way a nigger can beat a white soldier.
The Yanks seem to think otherwise.
What do the Yanks know about niggers?
They know how to get them to do the fighting for them.
And how to get their asses whooped and become prisoners. Why don't we just return them to the masters?
Who knows where they come from? And to tell you the truth, I couldn't care less. It's enough for us to have to guard them. Hush. You hear that?
Yeah.
Both pick up their rifles.
Who's out there? I'll give you the count of 3 to talk. 1, 2, shoot! I won't if you show yourself down.
A black man enters. It is Rufus. He is wearing a Union Army uniform.
Okay, nigger. Hands up. Trying to sneak up on us, eh?
No, sir, not at all. There was no other route to take.
All you niggers are liars. Maybe I should shoot you now.
Easy, Ollie. There's no call for that. Wait a minute. I think I know you from somewhere. Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir.
I'm sure that we met. Yes, now I remember. You were that fellow who showed up at my place in 1857, isn't that right?
Rufus stares at Azariah.
That's right. And you're that white man to help me. I'm right glad to meet you again.
What are you doing being a soldier?
You know him?
Yes, I do. We met by chance a few years ago on my farm. He was lost, wandering around, and I made sure he got back on the right path.
How's your wife, sir?
She's dead. She died from typhus, but thank you for asking.
I'm truly sorry to hear that, sir. She seemed like a good woman.
Since he was trying to escape, let's shoot him, and all his pals too. Who'd miss a few dead niggers?
Yeah, enough of that talk, Ollie. Nobody's gonna be shooting anybody, at least not now.
Then, what are we gonna do with them?
Stop your pestering me. Well, why are you trying to escape?
I really wasn't trying to escape. I was just trying to find me some grub. Me and the boys don't have enough to eat.
Well, why didn't you say so in the first place?
What good would it have done? You white boys have no use for us.
We're not that heartless. Fact is, we barely got enough food for ourselves. And Ollie's right. We have cause to shoot you. But we won't, and I'll tell you why. It's because I owe you, that's why.
Sarge! What in tarnation you talking about? That nigga was escaping.
Don't sass me, Ollie. I'll give you a what for. Now, this man helped me in my time of grief. He said words that comforted me and my wife and helped send my baby boy to heaven. I can't forget that.
He's no preacher, he's a nigger.
I know that, but still, he said the words, and he said them right proper and with feeling too.
Sarge, I think this nigga spooked you. They can conjure up all kinds of things and stuff and mess up your head.
I'm not spooked. I'm talking sense.
So, what are we gonna do with them?
Well, where are you heading to, boy?
I don't know. I just wanted to get away.
Going where?
To my home.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a carpenter, you know, do odd jobs. I also teach school for colored kids in town.
Sarge, who cares what this nigga does or where he lives? He's a prisoner and he was escaping. Let's shoot him and be done with it.
Watch what you're saying, boy. It could cost you.
You know that we're under orders to report all runaways to the captain.
I'm aware of that, Ollie. You are beginning to vex me.
I don't mean to, Sarge. I just don't want us to get into trouble.
Will you shut up already? Well, what am I supposed to do with you?
I'm at your mercy, sir.
Yeah, I guess you are. Ollie, you take this nigger and you march him across the field to that big maple tree over yonder.
Why'd you want me to do that for?
Don't question me, boy. Just do it.
Okay, nigga. Get moving.
Ollie turns to exit, and Azariah hits Ollie on the head with the butt of his rifle, knocking Ollie unconscious.
Okay, here's your chance to scram.
I don't know what to say. What about him?
Don't worry about him. Tell him you hit him. He'll be so rattled he won't know the difference. Now get lost, and if I see you around here again, I may not be so kind. By the way, before I forget, what's your name?
Rufus Trescott.
Where's your home?
All in Illinois. That's where I have my wife and child.
Okay, Rufus Trescott from Alton, Illinois. Now skedaddle.
Rufus stares at Azariah, then exits. End of scene 4. Scene 5, time 1890. Place, capital city, the governor's office. Sitting behind the desk is Azariah. He is the governor of Alabama. Sitting opposite him are 2 men, Lyle Ogilvy and Lem Carpenter. They're Azariah's special advisors.
I tell you, Governor, it's either us or the niggers.
That's right, Governor. We can't let this go on.
If I ever get my hands on one of those damn agitators,
Can that talk, Lem? I have more important business to discuss.
More important than dealing with agitators?
Look, boys, I want to start a school for colored folk.
What?
You heard me.
But that'd be like pouring fuel on the fire.
No, it would be more like putting out the fire, or better yet, starting our own fire, one that we could control.
But boss, you know if we give in to the niggers, they'll take over everything.
We're not giving in to anybody. We'll be keeping everything under our control. Look, it's 1890. Things are a-changing, and there's nothing we can do about that.
Governor, nobody gives a hoot about the niggers except for whenever they forget their place.
That's where you're wrong. Dead wrong.
You show me one white person in this state who gives a hoot about the niggers and I'll paint your house.
You can paint my house? Don't do me no favors. You couldn't do hard work even if a gun was pointing at your head.
What you have in mind, Governor?
Like I was saying, I want to build a school for colored folks. A trade school where they can be taught all kinds of skills. Help them become productive members of society instead of being dependent on the Yanks for help.
Oh, I see. You want to out-yank the Yanks.
Well, kind of. I also want to show the world that in our state, we white folk really do care about our colors. Which is more than I can say for the white folk up north, hypocrites that they are.
So who's gonna run this school?
You're putting the cart before the horse. First, we got to get the school built, and that'll cost money. That's why I had you gents meet me here today, to discuss raising the necessary funds.
What do you want us to do?
The usual. Knock down doors, tell them who sent you, explain why, and ask them to support the project. Anyone gives you lip, you let me know and I'll take care of it. Tell them this is it's for the good of the state. Now get out there and make sure you leave the same way you came back in. By the back door.
Lem and Lyle exit. Azariah gets up, walks over to the door of his office, and opens the door.
I want to send a telegram to Rufus Trescott, Alton, Illinois.
End of scene 5. Scene 6. Time 1898. Place, a dining room in the Walton house. Seated at the table are Azariah, his wife Lulubelle, and their son, Azariah Walton II, a.k.a. Junior, who is 20 years old.
Well, Father, I'm doing quite well in my studies.
I'm so glad to hear that. Don't you agree, Mother?
Of course I do. He's such a good boy.
Soon I'll be applying to law school.
Excellent choice of avocation, my boy, excellent.
Father, if it isn't too much to ask, would you mind if I went to town tonight with a few of my friends?
You just got in from school, boy. What's your rush?
Oh, Papa, stop fretting. The boy wants to be with his friends. Let him have his fun.
I realize that, Mother. Well, what's so important you gotta leave so fast?
Pop, it isn't like I don't want to be with you and Mother. Of course I do. Just that I had already made plans to get together with some friends.
And who may they be?
Just friends I made at school.
Then why don't you have them come here instead? Then we can show them some real hospitality.
I'd love to, Mother, but we already made other plans.
Papa, looks like our boy has a crowded social calendar.
So it seems. It says here in the paper that the battleship Maine blew up in Havana Harbor.
That could mean war.
Oh, my.
What do you plan to do, Junior?
I don't know. I really want to complete my studies.
Sometimes duty calls.
Papa, let the boy finish his studies.
I'm not telling him what to do. I'm just saying that sometimes we have to, what's the fancy word? Prioritize.
I know. And that's why I'm meeting with my friends tonight. We're going to talk about the war and about some other stuff, such as maybe paying a visit to the Trescott school.
Now, why would you want to do that?
Because the niggers there are getting mighty uppity.
Uppity? In what way?
Homer Beasley told me that last week a nigger wearing a Trescott school cap winked at his sister while she was shopping in town and upset her so much that she ran home crying. And we can't allow such things to happen.
That does sound serious. Maybe I ought to call Mr. Trescott and discuss the matter with him.
Papa, you can call him, but we're set on paying that school a visit and teaching those niggers a lesson.
Junior, you listen to your papa.
Mr. Trescott is a friend of mine, and I'm sure that we can settle this matter without adding to the distress.
Papa, you're not governor anymore.
But I can still pull a few strings. So let me do my string pulling, and you go upstairs and read a book.
Oh, Papa.
Don't you butt Papa me, you hear? Me and Mr. Trescott will work things out. Don't you even think about sneaking out, because if you do, I will not let you back in. I will cut off all your funds, render you destitute, disavow your debts, and personally see to it that you enter the army as a private, not an officer. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, Papa.
Junior exits.
Whew, I hope we haven't raised a fool for a son.
I hope not also, Papa.
I hope I didn't make a mistake starting up that school.
You did what you thought was best.
Well, it was either that or have every colored boy in town lollygagging around with nothing to do except make trouble. And that would just rile up the white folk. You know what that would mean? Ku Kluxers.
Oh, my.
End of scene 6. Scene 7. Time 1920. Place, an office in a steel mill located at the outskirts of Capital City. Sitting behind the desk is Hank Covington, the president of Consolidated Steel. Sitting opposite him is Junior. Both men are dressed in business suits.
I'll tell you, Junior. Maybe I should just throw in the towel and quit.
Why are you thinking that way, HC? I never known you to quit anything.
It's all this labor agitation. It's becoming too much for me to deal with.
It is a lot to deal with, but you're not dealing with it alone. I'm here with you.
I pay the highest wages in the industry, install the newest equipment, but all they want is more and more and more. When will it stop?
No, HC. We have not exhausted all of our options.
What do you mean?
You know, we got a lot of colored folk who'd be glad to work for you.
You mean hire niggas to do skilled work? Making steel isn't like frying up grits or picking cotton.
HC, your thinking is outdated. From what I saw in 1898 when I commanded a company of colored troops in Cuba, and from what I saw in the last war with strong leadership, niggers can do okay.
But Junior, being in the Army is not the same as working in a factory. I don't have the same authority.
But you do, AC, just in a different form. You have the power to hire and fire and close up shop if you have to.
But if I close shop, then we'll be offline and lose money. And that's something I want to avoid if at all possible.
I know that, HC, and to avoid that, we got to think about hiring niggers until the white workers come back to their senses.
You know, of course, that if we do hire niggas, a lot of people are going to become mighty upset. It may also play into the hands of those radicals that want to close down my operation.
Actually, it would undercut the Reds. Don't you see? The Reds want to radicalize the entire community, blacks and whites. By hiring the niggers, we'll divide the whites and blacks against each other.
Junior, I don't know where you come up with these ideas, but you seem to know what you're talking about.
Thank you, HC. And my late father, the governor, taught me to hold on, stay calm, and head off trouble if at all possible. The niggers will appreciate you. And if for whether they can do the work, they'll learn. And my father knew that when he founded the Trescott School.
Remember how in 1898 the whites wanted to burn down the school? We almost had a war here too.
Yes, but because of my father and Mr. Trescott, cooler heads prevailed, and the troublemakers were duly punished. And during the war, several boys from Trescott served in the Army, a few even as officers.
I still can't countenance the U.S. Army allowing niggas to be officers. It ain't right.
I know how you feel, but that's the way it is. I'll go over and talk with Miss Trescott and explain the situation to her.
You do that, Junior. And get back to me quick. You hear? And say hello to your wife for me.
I will.
End of scene 7. Scene 8. Time, same day, late afternoon. Place, an office at the Trescott School. Sitting behind the desk is a distinguished-looking black man, Rufus Trescott II. Standing next to Trescott is his wife, an attractive black woman, Amanda Trescott.
The Ku Klux is on the move again.
Yes, they are.
They're a menace to society.
You mean they're a menace to black society, don't you?
That's what I meant, dear.
What do you plan to do about it?
I wrote a letter to President Wilson expressing the black community's indignation and concern.
And you think writing a letter will accomplish something?
My dear, what more do you expect me to do? I am an educator, not a politician.
You know that my father was murdered by a lynch mob, yet you persist in doing nothing.
I have you and the children to think of.
Stop using me as an excuse for your own cowardice.
Me, a coward? How dare you? I put my life on the line during the Spanish-American War, did I not? Did I not receive an official commendation for bravery signed by Colonel Roosevelt himself?
So what? That was a white man's war, not yours. There's a war happening now, right here, at this very spot being conducted against our people, and you do nothing except writing letters that are ignored?
Telephone rings. Trescott answers the phone.
Yes. Mr. Walton is outside wishing to speak with me? Yes, fine. Please tell Mr. Walton that I'll be right with him. Mr. Walton is waiting outside. He wants to speak with me.
About what?
I don't know.
Do you want me to leave?
No, my dear, stay. I also want to assure you that I am not a coward.
Then act like the fearless man that I know you are, the man that I married.
Trescott picks up the phone.
Ask Mr. Walton to come in.
Junior enters. Trescott hangs up the phone, gets up, walks around the desk, and greets Junior.
Mr. Walton, what a pleasure it is to see you.
Same here, Rufus. Hello, Amanda.
Hello, Mr. Walton.
Please, sit down.
All three sit. Trescott behind his desk, Amanda at Trescott's side, both facing Junior, who is seated on the opposite side of the desk.
So what brings you to my school today?
A matter of great urgency.
What may that be?
As you know, the workers at Consolidated Steel are becoming increasingly obstinate, making many unreasonable and even outrageous demands that management simply cannot accept, such as a 50-cent an hour wage increase and reducing the work week from 60 to 40 hours. Now, accepting such demands would mean putting the company out of business. Our families have a long history of working together to smooth over all kinds of difficulties that have threatened the stability and well-being of our community. Once again, it is necessary for our families to link forces. Now, will you help?
What exactly is it that you want?
Let me be open and frank with you. All the skilled positions at the mills are currently held by white workers, many whom aren't even Americans, but they were hired because they had the skills necessary to operate a steel mill.
No, they were hired because they were white and would work for lower wages than the local help.
I'm not here to quibble with you.
What makes you think I'm quibbling?
Let's not get sidetracked.
Okay, let's just sweep it under the rug like we always do.
I'm not here to debate or defend my company's hiring practices. Rather, I'm here to ask for your help and support, which will benefit not only the mill, but your school and the entire community, black and white.
Go on, I'm listening.
Consolidated Steel wants your school to start training colored boys to take over skilled jobs at the steel mill.
That's asking a lot. We're not geared up to provide that kind of training. And won't that mean displacing some of the white workers?
No, Consolidated Steel will assist you in developing a training program for the new employees.
Why can't you just hire more foreigners?
Because the political climate has changed.
So, you want to use Negroes as scabs to force the white workers to drop their demands? Isn't that right?
Mr. Walt, what you're asking us to do is mighty risky and something that you could ignite a huge explosion. I'm not sure I want to take such a risk. I have my wife and students to think about.
Let me be frank. You depend on the state for much of your funding, don't you?
Of course we do, you know that, and for that we have your father to thank.
Who, at great personal and political risk, reached out to your father and made him the #1 Negro educator in the United States. Now, it would be a shame if all that goodwill ended here. Now, at the risk of sounding blunt, I need to warn you that if your help is not forthcoming, the funding from the state for your school could be at jeopardy.
I'll need time to think this over.
Of course, but we'll need your answer soon. You know how to reach me. It was a pleasure meeting you, man. Seeing you.
Junior exits.
What do you plan to do?
Like I said, think it over.
End of scene 8. Scene 9, time early evening. Place, Junior's office, located in downtown Capital City. Junior is sitting at his desk, sipping on a drink. There is knocking at the door. Junior puts the drink inside the drawer of his desk.
Come in.
Amanda enters.
Amanda, to what can I attribute this visit?
I want you to stop pressuring my husband to commit suicide and to leave our school alone.
Your school is my father who's responsible for getting that school built.
I'm aware of that, but times have changed, and your father is no longer, and things. Your father is long gone, and things must move on.
Does that include us?
What happened between us is over and done with. Right now, the reason why I'm here is strictly business.
You expect me to believe that?
You had your chance with me, but you wimped out.
You knew that our friendship can never go beyond a certain point.
Oh, stop it. You seduced me. I was a young girl, innocent, impressionable, and you were, well, a young man with ideas.
You knew how I felt about you.
I thought I did, but you were just handing me lines.
I meant them.
No, you didn't, and you proved that by your actions.
What was I to do? Tell my father about us? I would have destroyed him and everything he had worked for.
You mean it would have destroyed you?
Yet here you are now in my office uninvited, trying to con me into protecting your husband, but it won't work. All you are doing is provoking me.
How can you live with yourself?
Stop it already. I am doing my job, right? My client wants to keep his business operating, but to accomplish that, the workers have to come to their senses. What is wrong with that?
What is wrong is that instead of dealing squarely with the issues, you're playing the race card.
Now look here, Amanda. Nobody's playing the race card. Now, if you don't mind, I happen to have some work to do.
I'm sure you do.
Please leave.
I once really cared for you. It just shows how naive I was.
Look, Amanda, if you do not leave now, I will call security and have you escorted out. Do I make myself clear?
Okay, Junior. I'll leave, but we're not finished.
All right. That's where you're wrong. Now please leave.
Amanda exits. Junior picks up the phone.
Hello? Security? Yeah. A colored woman just left my office. I want you to follow her and then let me know where she goes. Good. Call me this evening at home.
Junior hangs up the phone, then pulls open the drawer of his desk, takes out his drink, and gulps it down. End of scene 9. Scene 10, time next day. Place, an office located in the headquarters of Local 814 of the Amalgamated Steelworkers of America. In the office are the president of the union, Logan Fedderson, the vice president, Clancy Kilkenny, the third man, Bruce Davenport, a labor activist.
I'll call New York today if you want.
We can handle things just fine without bringing an outside help.
Look, I know what you think, but I'm no red. I'm American as red, white, and blue.
That I find hard to believe. If it was up to me, I'd toss you out of this office right now.
Clancy, the man came here claiming that he wanted to help. The least we can do is hear him out.
I heard enough already. He's nothing but a nigger lover who just wants to stir up trouble so he can take over the union.
That's ridiculous.
Mr. Davenport, we have a serious situation here. Our workers are working 12-hour shifts, 6 days a week for peanuts, and management won't budge. The membership is getting more and more impatient. If management refuses to seriously negotiate, we might have to call a strike, which could mean big trouble for us. Now, how can you help us?
I want to meet with the black community in this town to encourage them to support the strike.
The last thing we need is help from niggers. They are natural-born scabs who destroy the union.
But if we don't reach out to them, then management will, and then what will you do?
We'll keep them in their place, that's what we'll do.
Clancy, let's not fly off the handle. Mr. Davenport is right. We got to stay one step ahead of the management.
Logan, bringing in niggers, well, that would create problems, lots of problems. Let's say we do bring them in. What's to stop them from taking our jobs?
Nobody would be taking your jobs.
Are you serious? You expect us to believe that?
Yes, because it's true. You have nothing to worry about.
Oh, you Bolsheviks are the same. Trying to get over on us with empty promises. Well, guess what? We won't work here.
I'm not trying to get over on anyone. I'm here to help.
Look, Mr. Davenport, it's like this. If we agree to open our membership to niggers, management will offer them our jobs at a much lower wage. That you can take to the bank. So I have to agree with Clancy on that point.
Instead of treating the Negro as a threat, why not treat him as an ally? Promoting solidarity will only strengthen your union.
Here we go with more of the Bolshevik talk. We have nothing in common with niggers. Get it? My father was a steelworker. My grandfather fought for the South. And there is no way I'm gonna let some slick-talking red from New York City undermine my union.
This talk of solidarity is fine in New York City, but down here, it just won't go. It's contrary to our traditions. It would only raise tensions and cause trouble in the ranks.
But if management locks you out, they'll use the Negro as a scab to try and break your union. That's why we have to reach out to them now.
And I know what management will do, and I know what we will have to do to deal with them.
Now you're talking, Logan.
Do you understand what you're saying?
I appreciate your offer to help, and it was a pleasure meeting.
Pedersen and Bruce shake hands.
If you change your mind, I'll be staying at the Hotel Edison. You can reach me there. Goodbye.
I don't like that boy at all. He's nothing but a modern-day carpetbagger looking to rile up the niggers at our expense.
I get your point, but times are a-changing, and we got to change with the times.
End of scene 10. Scene 11. Time, the next day. Place, a street corner in Capital City. Bruce is distributing flyers.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Friends, listen to me. We must unite. Be one. Don't let the bosses keep you down. You gotta fight for the right, and by doing right, you will win the fight.
A police officer enters.
What are you doing, boy?
Exercising my First Amendment rights.
Don't sass me, you hear? So I'm asking you again, what are you doing?
I'm exercising my right as a U.S. citizen.
You got permission